Well, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to jump on here because we are working on the truck. So yesterday went up to Oklahoma to try and shoot some deer for hunting season, and we kept hearing this little clunk in the rear end, and I knew I'd figure out as soon as I heard the noise what it would be soon, because typically when there's a noise you figure out what's broken shortly after, and we did. So we ended up pulling off to the side of the road and crawled underneath and saw some liquid kind of dripping out of the rear end, and kind of diagnosed it as a diff seal or an axle seal that had been broken or busted or rotted away, something like that. So I think the noise is the bearing. So we think the bearing and the seals are broken. So last night, I've been in quite a hurry because I do have some work that I've got to get done this week, so I've got to travel, and of course this stuff happens right before you have to travel. So we're taking all day today, today's Monday, to work on this thing, and I could not find any YouTube videos that showed some of the nuances on this. So I'm going to try and point out some details that we found while tearing this stuff off, and also film the rest of the install and the replacement. So sorry guys for the poor quality on the phone video that I'm going to upload to this video shortly after this intro. It was just taken with my cell phone. So again, we were in a hurry, didn't have the camera set up, so I went ahead and filmed what I could with my phone. So with further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. I've got all the tools broke out and everything like that. I'm going to go ahead and kick off with a cell phone video, and then we're going to go ahead and start filming with the quality camera. So see you guys soon. What's up, YouTube? So I'm here with the 2019 F150, and we got back from Oklahoma earlier this morning and found out that we believe the wheel bearing on the driver's side, rear side, is busted. So we're taking that apart. I'm just going to show a little bit of what we've done so far. I was going to try and film the whole thing, but I don't have time to film it today. So I'm going to show you what I've taken off of the truck so far, and then I'll try to film a little bit more tomorrow when we're putting all the pieces back in, on how we actually reinstall everything and what we replaced. So check it out. All right, so as you can see, we've got all the diff fluid that's sprayed up all over the wheel, and so we took the wheel off. We've got, of course, this stupid spacer that we took off as well, and then we ended up taking off the brake caliper, which is just these two little nuts, bolts right there, and then of course we've got the rotor that just comes right off, and we're just going to set that aside. And then, as you can see down in there, it's kind of where the bearing would sit, and we're going to try and take the diff cover off of here and slide this axle out. So we got to, I believe there's a pin in there, and we got to pull the pin, and then we'll be able to slide this axle all the way out and access the bearing. Don't forget to always use the drain pan, because we're going to have a little bit of diff fluid in here that's going to drip out on here, and then we'll clean up where the seal is and kind of pop that off. The other one has power without even problem.
Is that a charger on the back of the battery?
No, but there's one sitting up there.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever it's called. It's best to organize this thing. typically just pound the screwdriver in there and take the pressure off and let it drip out.
Yeah, I just wanted to
That's nasty looking stuff.
put it on a couple different spots rather than just one.
Right.
There you go.
Alright, just leave that screwdriver in there. That is dirty.
Yeah.
How's that dirty?
I don't know.
That's probably why it failed.
Yeah, that's what when I saw it, when I took a look at it on the tire,
Yeah.
I was like, that's dark. It's not supposed to be dark.
Where's the pin? Is there a plug in the back of that?
Hold on, I just don't want this to fall off. No, yeah, there's a plug on this side.
On the back side.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it failed.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, guys. So we got the diff cover off, and we were kind of looking at all these splines up in here, and if you can see with the light on, it's pretty sparkly, and it's kind of tough to focus with the phone, but definitely
a lot of metal.
a lot of metal. Not supposed to look like that at all. So we're not sure which part of this is getting shaved down, but it's definitely not supposed to look like shiny metal at all. So that's a bad sign. All right, guys. So I wanted to point this out because we did get the center pin out of this, but on the side of it is this little set screw that fits. I don't know if you can see it very well, but right up in here. So this is where the pin was. There's a screw, this one, that was tucked up in there. We found that it was an 8 or a 5/16, 5/16, and we went ahead and brought that out of there, and then the pin was free. There's only one, but I just wanted to point that detail out because it's kind of an important one. And now we took out this little saddle that was up in there from this spot in between the splines and this little, I don't know what that's called, but we're trying to push the axle out and it's not going out, so we're going to keep investigating why it's not sliding out, because that little saddle should have been the only thing holding it in. So we'll let you guys know.
Alright guys, so I have gotten the tools that we need. So this is the puller that we're gonna have to pull the old bearing out with, and so went ahead and just rented these from AutoZone. It was like $100 to rent them, but you get the money back when you return them. So always get the right tools, guys, super important. And then I've got some extra brake cleaner. I bought a gasket for the diff cover, and then of course I've got the seal, and then 2 bearings in there, and then some more sealant for the diff cover, as well as some grease. So we're gonna grease those fittings and all that kind of stuff, and get to it. So right now, if I can brighten this up a bit, you can see right now we've got the hub and everything taken off. I just got the brake caliper back here in the back, and we're trying to pull the axle out. And we've got the diff cover right there, and then diff wide open under there. So I'm gonna crawl under there. I'll probably use the GoPro for some of this, so I won't have the camera for all of it, but this is just to show you where we've gotten so far.
Can you go ahead and push the axle?
I did.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so this little washer here is what we need.
That's a C-clamp.
C-clamp. It looks like a little washer. And C-clip, whatever it's called. So you got to remove that before you take the axle out. And we should be able to slide the axle out. This one we're having issues with. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah.
That one just slides right out.
It's coming out.
And he's... And there we go. We can throw that on the mat over there by the workout stage. Very cool. We'll just lay it down there. Safekeeping.
Not too bad.
Not terrible.
No, those are good. They're all good surfaces. They're not nasty. They're all boogered up.
Yeah. That came out easy. This one we're having troubles with. We're not sure if there's something else in the diff that we need to take off. All right, guys, this is a few minutes later. We still have the passenger side axle out, and I removed all of the spider gears. You can't really see them, but they're over there. Top and bottom, left and right. And it's still not sliding out, so for some reason it's got something blocking it. So if we push it forward, if we can, push it forward, something is not working properly. Something's in there. I think it's probably the bearing is broken inside and it's not letting us pull this out. All right, guys, so we've got the bearing, the old bearing out, and this is the seal, and both of them actually look really good shape. But this is the side that wasn't broken, that we can actually get the axle out. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace it anyway, and we're trying to clean up the surface here because there's still some gasket material or some I don't know, sealant on there. So we're gonna clean that up, and then we'll put the new bearing in there, and then we'll replace the seal as well, and then we're gonna keep trying to get that other axle out. I'm waiting on a voicemail. From Ford in McKinney. Left them a voicemail. They have not responded yet. So waiting on that to see if there's anything specific. Over here, we did try to engage and disengage the locker to see if for some reason that would allow us to slide it out, and it hasn't. So my guess is that part of the bearing is lodged inside the housing and is not letting us move it, but still going to discover what that is, and we'll let you guys know in a few. All right, a little detail that I'll go ahead and say. When we rented this tool, I was using the largest size to start with. Obviously that didn't work. I think it was getting hung up. We used the medium size and that worked just fine. So the largest size on this Ford truck probably won't work. Just make sure you're using the right size when you're trying to pound that out. All right, guys, so I called a buddy on this driver's side axle to see what he's used to doing. He says half the time they slide right out, and the other half the time he has to take this slide hammer, the same thing we use for the bearing, and beat it for hours. So we're gonna go and get the hub attachment. So there's an attachment that goes onto the lug nuts for that we should be able to use the slide hammer for, and just go to town on it. I didn't want to break anything or damage anything, but he's saying that I won't. So let's be rough with it, I guess. We're gonna head over to the AutoZone, pick up the other seal that came in, and pick up the hub assembly, come back and beat the crap out of it. Stay tuned. All right, guys. So I did get the axle puller. So this should, in theory, fit right on there. Now I can put the slide hammer on there and just start going to town on it. So we're gonna get to that.
See stuff flying out of there?
Yep.
It's coming out.
That's it?
Yep.
You can.
It's gonna come out. Hold on. Man, it hurts. I'm gonna make sure this is not gonna fall off.
All right. Oh, sure enough. I did all the work. No, I was kidding.
You did. Right.
Look at that. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, the seal is toast, but it was the inner.
Oh, look, right here.
Yeah.
That's all the metal shavings right there.
Look at that.
Look, can you see that?
Yeah.
The axle has been rubbing on it because of the bearing.
You need a new axle.
Dang it, man.
All right.
Oop. Set that there. So that's where the problem is, right there.
Oh man,
It's
I'm
destroyed.
surprised. And that's what a normal one looks like.
Yeah, well. All right, guys. So all the bearings are broken inside. All the little cylinders are shattered. All right, guys. So I put my main camera away. As you could tell, I've been using the GoPro a lot more, just because we've been so messy that I really don't want to get metal shavings and all that stuff on my nice expensive camera. So sorry about that for the quality of this one, but I did want to do an update on where we're at. So pulled the axle out. As you can see, it took a lot of force to get that axle out. We got it out. The bearing was completely busted. All of the little bearings inside had broken in half, and because of that, over time they had shaved off a good amount of the axle. So the axle is shot, can't put that back in there. I'm gonna have to go get another axle, and I've got the bearings and seals already. The main problem is I wanted to upgrade the axles to some chromolys or something a little bit heavier duty since I'm in there, but everything's a long lead time. So got to head back to the Ford dealer in town in McKinney, because that's the spot that has the OEM axle shafts. I'm gonna pick up one of those for the driver's side and slide that back in there, put the new bearings in there, put the new seals in it, and close everything back up. But it's kind of crazy. I took a bunch of photos. I showed a lot on the video, but just in case you guys didn't see, I'll go ahead and show you some more of what everything looks like. It's just in pieces. So just an FYI, if your bearing does go bad and your axle won't slide out, there's a good chance that it's because the bearing has worn out the axle as well. So in this case, the bearings had slid down into the axle and caused a little lip, basically, where I wasn't able to pull it out. And I ended up pulling out the axle with the seal and the bearing, all kind of came with it together. So that's where we're at. Yeah, now it's coming up. Yeah, that might hurt your hand.
That's what I wanted to avoid.
Well, that bearing is...
It's coming out too.
That's toast. Where did the piece go? Floating in somewhere. There's pieces everywhere.
That bearing.
All right, so this is where the seal and the bearing was. The seal was busted, of course, and then this is what's left of the bearings. So you can see some of the bearings just broke in half, and that's the housing for the bearing, and that was shattered as well. So not in good shape, and then it caused, just as a reference, this is a good axle. This one has some major wear on it, so that's no bueno. But that's what we found. So we're gonna go into town, swap out the axle, bring it back, throw it in, and get back on the road tomorrow so I can get to work. See you guys. I know, right? No kidding.
Well, all right. Now we've got it pretty much cleaned up. Spray some more. Spray cleaner up in there.
Need some more shop towels?
Not yet. All right, guys, really important details. We've got beer and bearings. So a little tip that I saw actually on YouTube, I don't know if it's true or works at all, but if you stick these in the freezer, someone said that it makes them slightly smaller so that you can get them in there easier. So that's what we did. We left them in the freezer for 4 or 5 hours, so they're nice and cold. So let's hope they go in there easily. Now we need to pound it in there, huh? Where's the other bearing? Is it over there?
Yeah, it's over there. It's on the ground.
All right, guys, so we have officially gotten this side done. We've got the seal and the bearing inside of there. And all we need to do now is slide that axle in. We're gonna go ahead and do the other side, and then we're gonna get all the spider gears up inside the diff. Make sure everything's greased up properly, everything fits properly. And then we're gonna get that other side done, slide the axles in, put the diff cover on, and we'll be good to go. Thank you. Actually, I want to spray that out. Let's see. All right, guys, so we wrapped it up. I'm going to do a exit tomorrow and kind of go over some of the issues that we found and how we worked around it, because I'm almost out of footage. So see you guys tomorrow. Well, what's going on, guys? It is a little while after I fixed the truck, and I realized that I forgot to do an outro and just got on the road and drove down to San Antonio to meet with the client. So figured I'd go ahead and touch base on a few things. The truck has been riding pretty good after the repairs. I noticed that there were just a couple details that I just cover now. And the main thing is just go to your local parts store, grab yourself the tools to get the job done right, and then that'll help a lot. The axle on this one was pretty beat up, and so it took a lot of force to get that out of the hub. But other than that, it was a pretty smooth install. And what? My puppy's growling at me, he wants attention. But other than that, very smooth install. If there are any mechanics that are watching this and saying, man, you really butchered that job, you could have done a lot better, please tell me why. I'm not a mechanic. I just work on my own trucks and work on my own vehicles. So let me know what I did wrong or what I could have done better. The main thing I want to know is there a better way to install the bearing and the seal rather than just beating it into place with a hammer? So let me know. Comment below. If this video helped you guys, please give it a like, follow the channel, and I'll put out more videos as my truck breaks, so I'll fix them. So thanks guys, see ya.